kwa balishani kwenu.
Ifo tulife bwino kutalala fye kuno kwana kwamba kutalala.
We are live, please.
Yeah. Are we? Oui.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Jerome, over to you. Good evening, viewers. Good evening, Zambia. Good evening, England. And good evening, diaspora, actually. I seem to be getting so many messages from diaspora. Mulishan mkwai, mwashubuke nchungropo mkwai, mulibwanji, mwalibi shabuti, mutende mwane. Over to you, Jerome. How are you, my dear?
No, I'm fine, Linda. Linda, you have not yet given the number to the people who have been asking your number. They have been traveling to say, what's the number for Linda? Linda, please,
really?
can you attend to this request? It has been there for a longer period of time. People have been requesting for your line. I don't know for what, I don't know.
Perhaps that might be good. You should ask perhaps what for, then we can take it further.
Okay. Momkela, how are you? Momkela, bye.
Yes, my brother, we are fine. Good evening, everyone. Wolinda.
Good evening, Momkela.
It's good to see you, Wolikezo, and it's good to see you, Kanso Musha. It's a wonderful evening. And please, we are here for you. Mwevena Kopala, Kalulushi, Kitwe, Konsyoko, Kulusaka, Kwa Hae, Kwa Kaoma, Kwa Mungu, Senanga Kalavo. We are here for you and everyone in the diaspora. Otherwise, Muiketile, Lunalu Iketile, Kuvata Fela. It's big. We are getting into summer, to winter soon. So we are waiting. We can't wait to go skiing.
It's getting really cold, Bamkeleva, actually. I found myself putting the heating on this morning. And I'm sure that Patrick is the same because he's also in England. Before we go on, guys, I just want to say a very, very big congratulations to the mastermind behind this platform that we're on, Kanso Musha. Now he's added a few letters to his name, PhD. Let's just give him a round of applause. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. I can speak for myself. I was so inspired. I followed the whole entire thing. And I really was inspired. I was thinking, my gosh, maybe I should dust off my books and start studying. I can't do book for you. At wishing that stop one.
Takwa wefkopo muchalo imwe. Ni interest.
Ni interest, eh?
Ni interest.
Okay. Boli Kenzo. Hi. Say hello.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Kwahai Kapo Muchwani. Good evening to TV Bakwetu family. Muchwani Kauperamina. I hope everybody is fine and just looking forward to hearing what we are going to discuss this evening.
Fantastic. So today, tonight even, some places it may be morning, we're going to be talking about the KCM liquidation. So that and other topical points of conversations. Now, let's see. Vamusha is not on right now. I am going to go to Jerome, simply because you are on the copper belt and you are our point of contact when it comes to this sort of stuff, especially when it comes to the mines. So I'll give you the opening floor. Just give us a little bit of background about the story about KCM and what is actually happening. And I understand someone has been arrested. So just shed more light for our viewers on that. And then I will open the conversation up to everybody else. Go for it, Jerome.
Yeah, I think that's what has been said. I think that's very true. But besides that, we have Madam Mercy Cohen actually, we hopefully she's added to the group so that she speaks for herself concerning the issues of Honorable Sambo. If you have read very well that there are issues and all that concerning Honorable Sambo and all that. So we had an opportunity today, I think, to to get in touch with her. Hopefully, the people are adding. They should look into the issue of adding Madam Mercy Kowan so that the people can hear for themselves what has been happening all this time. Then Linda should not also forget what we are anticipating or what are we expecting will be in the presidential conference tomorrow, press conference tomorrow. We need to maybe to also try to talk one or two things
Absolutely.
on what we are anticipating.
We will get to
Then
that. Absolutely.
yeah, then coming to the issue of KCM, let me go to the background. As you know very well, first of all, in the time of ZCCM Kiruba time, there was an issue of first privatization of the KCM, which KCM was privatized to Anglo-American, and from Anglo-American in the time of Manawasa there, the Anglo-American pulled out, then we had the Vendetta resources. From the Vendetta resources, the problem now started coming in, out, in, out, in, out, actually for KCM. Then from there, we had the PF government now or had to take over what I can say, master taking over of the KCM by liquidating it and putting Miringo as the liquidator. As of today, well, we are running up and down for one or two things. We saw and we have heard that Miringo has been arrested and he has been put on bond according to what the president actually said to the people arrested, to say don't arrest and put someone in cells for nothing. If that person, the case is bondable, you need to provide the bond. And the PF cadres now, or the PF members, are appreciating the good gesture from President Hakainde Hichilema of trying to not put people unnecessarily in cells, but allowing them to have bond. We have heard that he has been found with should be 100 and something million. Then there was also about 2 million US dollars, and all those kind of monies have been mentioned. So as we are talking right now, the first of all, if one individual is found with such kind of money, you know very well about the issue of KCM and mismanagement, KCM withdraw production, KCM workers failure to be paid. But on one individual in the name of a liquidator be found with such huge amount of money, this now shows to you that how recklessly PF and how heartless PF itself as a political party and itself as in government was to the Zambian people. Yeah, let me leave it here. I leave for other people, but please, everyone should not go away. We are waiting for Madam Mercy Kowan to be added. I know she should be in the background. Thank you, Linda. Back to you.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much, Jerome, for that. You've actually added some topics that I didn't mention, but we're going to get back to them because it's quite incredible how the news cycle is in Zambia. England is not even as exciting. There's just so much going on. So we're going to try our best to try and touch on quite as many topics as possible. I'm going to move on to Kalevaik. Could you just give us a little bit more information about the KCM situation and what is currently happening and whether it's a positive thing or not?
Well, to start with, ladies and gentlemen, I have not done a lot of research on that aspect, and I will not lie, but I will just appreciate what the president has done. And if it's true that such kind of money, was it hard cash that was found again? So you can tell that like we have been prophesying, we've been talking that there will be a lot that will be revealed. We are yet to get more. We are yet to get surprised. There will be a lot of revelations that we are going to find, that we are going to be informed about the previous regime, that these guys were not at they never meant to really serve the people of Zambia, even though PF was formed under the umbrella of being a pro-poor party. But that was, I think that was a mistake where they came up with such kind of agenda, and yet they wanted, it's like they were becoming from rags to riches, you know, and they blindfolded us with all this kind of you know, sentiments. No, we are here for you, we are going to help you. But what we didn't know was that they actually blindfolded us by saying being poor was okay, but they meant putting more money into their own pockets, not the whole country. So what Mr. Hakainde Hichilema and the new administration are doing right now, we should just really appreciate that this is the right direction that everyone has been looking forward to. And we are happy that he's on track, even though he doesn't have to wait for us to start ranting for him to act.
Thank you so much, Omkeleva. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah. And tomorrow he's got a press conference. So I'm really expectant. Hopefully a lot of these issues are going to be touched on. Let's move on to Patrick, then move on to Barbara. Just a few thoughts on KCM liquidation, please.
I think he's muted.
Patrick, check your mic, check your sound, check your sound. Unmute yourself, check your sound, unmute yourself.
It appears like Patrick is having a few technical problems. We are going to come back to him. I will open the floor for my brother Percy before he starts giving me an earful. There you go. He wasn't listening. Go for it, Percy.
Okay, for me, to be honest with you, I hope everyone is fine, and at least this is a drip news in terms of the arrest of Miringo. To be honest with you, I've never seen you are liquidating a company and then you create a board. That's like just a way of stealing money. Because it was just a board of just siphoning money from KCM. That's how it looks like. And the last point I'll make, it's very, very disappointing when you look at the Zambian laws. The guy was arrested. He paid, I don't know how much he paid for his bond, right? He's out quick. But in Zambia, if you are caught with a spliff, dog, muloro moz, you go to jail. So I would like you guys to tell me who's damaging our economy between the two, the one who's smoking his spliff or the one who's busy laundering money, destroying, because the money which was being siphoned from KCM, it would have gone to buy medicines in our hospitals.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Thank
or
you.
the free education. Or the free education
Yes,
that
thank
everyone
you,
is crying about. Absolutely.
Yes.
Right. Before we move away from that topic, I would just like to open the floor up.
Valinda, can you get me?
Yes, of course.
Okay, can I talk about liquidation of KCM?
Yeah, just a second,
Please.
Patrick. Definitely, you will. Whilst you're responding to the KCM situation, Patrick, I want you to consider these thoughts. Who is this Milingo guy? What's the background? How did he find himself in this position? And how did he have so much power that he can actually get away with what he got away with? Go for it.
Yeah, to start with, we condemned the liquidation of KCM. I think the PF should have done something better than an administration would have been better, would have been the better route than liquidating the company. And now the matter is in an international court. We're just gonna pay a lot of money, more debt on top of the debt. So I think, but PF, they were trying to use KCM to siphon money, maybe use money for the elections. They had a plan. The PF wasn't a political party; it was a criminal gang. Maybe when Sata was there, yes, but the moment Sata died and Edgar Lungu and them came in, they were just a criminal bunch. How can a president travel in a presidential jet with well-known drug dealers? It's unbelievable. So Milingo is a lawyer. He's 43 years old. He became the liquidator, I think, when he was 42. And Milingo is a PF cadre. So they use the PF cadre, a liquidator to go and run a company. A liquidator does not run an organization for so many years. He only runs an organization for a short period, sell the assets. But this was just a way of getting money out of KCM, maybe take it offshore, steal it. That was the plan, and then sell it. And Milingo now has been arrested. The charge says Milingo was engaged in theft involving 110 million kwacha and 250 million. That's theft. He was
such incredible, colossal amounts of money.
Diverting ZCCM money in his personal accounts. Can you believe it? 110 million would pay for all the students at all the universities in Zambia for more than one semester, one year. And we are saying, the government is saying that they don't have money. On top of that, Milingo wanted to send money offshore, about $2.2 million. You know how much $2.2 million? This is how FIC came to know about it. He was trying to send this money offshore. And this money obviously is not just Milingo. They were going to share it among themselves. And when FIC discovered that Milingo was trying to externalize the money, that's when they informed DEC, and then all his accounts were frozen, and now he's been arrested.
Yeah.
So it's really sad. PF people are criminals.
Absolutely. Just to add, Patrick, yesterday I heard you talk about processes. You are our accountancy guru, so to speak, and there should be processes and systems in place so that if any amount of money is released, and it said, you have a threshold of particular amounts of money, it rings a bell to some other department to say, this does not look right. Can someone take a look at this? How in God's name did he manage to get away with such...
That's a point. So, because Milingo was given so much power, imagine he was the chief executive, was everything. But all the same, if Milingo was the liquidator, the Minister of Mines must have been Milingo's boss or the permanent secretary.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they should be processes and procedure. So Milingo wasn't going to be allowed to transfer money or spend beyond a certain threshold. So it's unbelievable. Where was the permanent secretary, Minister of Mines, when Milingo was stealing this money? Where was the chief accountant or the finance director?
And do they not do any audits in these places?
That's the question. So it's a cartel. So
Lovely.
If Milingo was able to steal this kind of money, which means the permanent secretary was involved, the director of finance, whoever was there at KCM, is involved. So it's a cartel.
It is. Anyone else who wants to add to what Patrick has talked about? Barbara or
Yeah. I just wanted to say I won't go into the details of what's happened with the KCM because most of you know about it, and I don't have the exact details. But I did have a listen to the clip by Kambwili. That was before he was given a share of the money, and he was talking about this same liquidation. And how wrong it was, because obviously this guy was just supposed to go there to liquidate the company. He wasn't supposed to go there to form boards or even involve himself in any of the sales. So it's obvious that the PF was just using the sale of this company to siphon money from the Zambian government into their pockets. What's painful is, like what Percy has said, the laws that we have right now at the moment, they have to be made in such a way that all these high crimes should be at least more difficult for people to not admire. Because as it is right now, it's so easy for anyone to admire these thefts, because all they get is they go to their court, they pay some of their bond, then they can go on from between now to the time that he's probably put in prison. If he even goes to prison, it's another couple of years. Something has to be done about it, because there's that 12-year-old girl who's been locked up for 12 years for smoking weed.
Yeah, this is what
12 years. This is really horrible. So I think that on top of locking him up, we need some emergency laws just for this period of time to sort out the government theft.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr.
Belinda, can I just say one thing for less than 1 minute?
Okay.
I think what the point Barbara has made is very important. We don't want DEC just to tell us these stories. These people should be prosecuted, successfully prosecuted, and put in jail, so that it acts as a deterrent and also as a precedent. Because whoever now wants to steal, they will know that they will go in jail for 30 years. Not even 5 years, because 5 years they will come out.
The question is, Patrick, do you think that's going to happen? Do you think DEC is competent enough or can be trusted to deal with these kind of cases when they actually haven't done that in the past 7 years?
That's our worry, Linda. And this is why I know HH is working, and who knows what he's going to do tomorrow. I've got a strong feeling something big is going to come out.
Those gloves are out.
Maybe he's going to mention about the fast track court, so that now these criminals are prosecuted as quickly as possible to serve as a deterrent. But Belinda, I'm so skeptic when it comes to DEC and corruption.
You're not the only one. A lot of people
who failed to prosecute those criminals who are stealing our money. If the new government didn't come into power, this Milingo wouldn't have been arrested.
Exactly.
They would have known about it, and they would have sat on it.
It would have been business as usual. Yes, Ma'am Clever, go for it.
The other thing, Valinda, I'm concerned is the rushing of the government issuing statements to say the police should arrest and release immediately. This is going to actually affect investigations. It's like doing it in the other way around, that the former regime refused to release a minister who was under investigations, pending investigations, and then you want to arrest somebody. Of course, they are entitled to bond, but at the police level, I don't think such a case, it is a little bit of heavy, and they were not supposed to even come out and give police bond. That is a little bit, that is far. They should have gone to the court and asked the judge to issue some kind of bail. Sure, that way it may carry a little bit of weight, because the police bonds, it's just like let's try to clean our to show that we are working, and then slap this person with the case, and then
Kalevai, that's
we relax.
exactly how I feel, because there's been so many cases that have completely been sensationalized. They'll come out and announce, oh yes, there's this woman with so many millions of kwaches in their back garden, and then 3 days later the story has just died a natural death. Another situation happened, they found this or the other, they're investigating someone who bought a bank, some councillor who bought a bank. What happened to that? I think it's completely it's not plausible at all. It's not plausible. Whatever they're coming up with, like Kalevai said, it's probably just trying to show that Vale Womba. But Percy, can I just give you a little task? Because I know you are a wizard at this sort of thing. Could you keep an eye on the comments from our viewers? There's some incredible comments coming up. And just pick your favorites and ask them at some point. I'll give you a little bit of time.
Linda, just let me a minute. Also, I come in. You see, the issue of first, I want to find out, is Milingo still the liquidator?
But Patrick,
because he can be arrested but still be a liquidator. So he's still the liquidator. Is he not? He's still in this position he had as a chief executive officer for KCM. Is he not so?
But Patrick, would you like to take
that
up?
one, Jerome? I don't know, but I doubt if somebody who has been arrested.
Patrick, before you continue, there's something I wanted to add on top so that you can answer together. He's also on some boards, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes. So to me, the fact that
But
this
Barbara,
guy
sorry,
has
could
been
you just mute yourself? Thank you.
This is
Carry
my
on, Barbara.
assumption. The fact that Milingo has been arrested, he should cease to be the liquidator and also cease to be on any quasi-government or parastatal boards, unless if it's a private board. That's my assumption.
Okay, I think that sounds about fair. Who else wants to add to that?
Because even
I was supposed to follow
before you come in. Oh,
Okay,
before you
Jerome,
come in,
go for it,
because
then
even
let's
Antonio Manza. No, okay. Antonio Manza is also sits on the board. He sits on the Lusaka Mount Facility Zone board, and he's a board member. Well, he was also called for interview and all that. And you heard what Antonio Manza was doing to the former to our president and what he was talking about. But he's still as a board member, and that board has not been dissolved. So now you fail to understand how we are doing things. I think we are very much slow in doing some of these things, and the PF is still controlling, like Honorable Maveta said last time, to say these guys are trying to be clever and wants to start monitoring what we are also doing, so that they make our work as the UPND to be very much difficult. So I'm expecting tomorrow something of such nature can be done or mentioned by the president. Then I'll talk about what I'm expecting in the speech tomorrow to be, but I hope means of health will be touched.
Brilliant. But Jerome, actually, you are part of the group. You are on the ground and you are UPND. So why are these things such a surprise to you? Why aren't you doing anything about it?
You see, one thing you should understand very well is UPND, it remains itself as a party, and the government itself remains as government. When you see, no wonder our chairperson for Lusaka province, Honorable Mwaliteta, mentioned to say, as a party, we are going to mobilize anywhere and form structures, because we don't want to compromise the works of the government. So as we understand very well, our role as a party and the role as a government. So we don't want to mix that, and do not mix that, I can assure you. So here what I'm saying, I'm saying on the party side, as a party, yes, these things we need to ask questions, because we are not the government. Yes, we are governing party, but the fact which is there is we remain also on the side of mobilizing the party as the party structures. Well, the government as civil servants, we need also to ask them why the civil servants are doing, as you know very well, civil servants are non-partisan. Well, as we are partisan, but civil servants are non-partisan. So as we are looking in the interest of promoting the party agenda and the party manifesto to be executed by or implemented by the civil servants, that's our role as a party.
Absolutely, I understand that. But can I just be very honest? I'm not sure you're doing that role very well. If we have to go by all the things that are taking place, I'm sorry to say that you're a good friend of mine, but I have to be honest. And it's led me quite nicely to a comment by Obet Nyakundi, who says, can Jerome shed more light on the conflicting statements confirmed coming from the UPND leader concerning cadres? I thought the message from Zambians is very clear. We do not want cadres. And the president was categorical in his statement to say that there will be no cadres. So why the conflicting? We have talked about this, and I think I know what your answer is. But just very briefly, before I bring in Valikezo, could you just satisfy Obet's curiosity, please?
I think you need to understand very well. The honorable minister, the honorable minister for Home Affairs in Parliament again made a statement. Again, the honorable minister for local government, Honorable Garin Komboso, made the statement over the same matter. Look, the situation here about the cadres. I know people have made out the cadres to look like people who are very bad. No, I'm a degree holder. I'm still pursuing my other studies, but I'm a UPND cadre, you see. So you need also to look into such level of people being cadres in such kind of a thing. Our provincial chairperson didn't say we are going to make the structures to start collecting money in markets. No, he said we are going to make structures for the purpose of mobilizing our party. How many seats did we win in Lusaka? You should ask such a question to yourselves. Then you are going to know that what our chairperson for Lusaka meant, he met very well, and he was looking into the issues of mobilization. The same sentiment was repeated by the Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Jackie Mwimbo. He mentioned to say he didn't mention to say we are having structures to go and collect money. No, we are having the structures for mobilization purpose. He went again, the same sentiment has been issued and said by Honorable Garin Kombo to say our provincial chairperson didn't say these people are going to lose to these markets to collect money. No, you should know. Look, we only have Lusaka Central and Kanyama, if I'm not mistaken. Matelo, we don't have a seat, and we Kanyama, Chawama, we don't have. There is another seat which we don't have. So we need to make our structures for the purpose of mobilization anywhere, including in churches, if it's possible.
Okay, thank you very much, Bajoram. Personal opinion on that: markets should be for trading, churches for worship, structures should be found another place. Valikezo, please go for it. I'm terribly sorry. I do apologize for having nicked quite a bit of your time. I'll give you 3 minutes. Take a pick on any of the topics that we have mentioned.
Okay, I'll take a pick on the Milingo case. Yeah, it's actually very shocking to just realizing how much the previous government, the PF regime, was siphoning the resources of the country. Because to me, what we are seeing is it's just the tip of an iceberg. There's a lot that has been happening, because I was there imagining a liquidator was there to, you know, to sort out the issues of the mine. And I even watched the video way back when they were discussing this issue of the liquidator and everything. And the miners were even reassured that the assets will be reserved. There will be no stealing. There was even this union representative who was saying they were going to make sure that the workers are going to benefit. Nothing is going to be taken from the mine. The assets will be well reserved and everything. So it appears, PF has been a cartel full of people who are so unfaithful. Even they can tell lies in front of the workers, because these poor miners, they put all their trust in them, that they were going to be looked after. But what happened thereafter, it's something else. We know that a lot of resources were siphoned, and this money has been stolen. And now one wonders, who was auditing, who was doing what and what? And that's why we keep saying, as for me, there's need of total cleansing in all the systems. Because now one wonders that here was the liquidator, and the bottom line is they were siphoning the resources. Maybe what we are seeing is just the tip of an iceberg. They wanted now to take all this money and just take them offshore and whatsoever. Whilst the poor miners are suffering. The poor, actually, this union representative, this is a video that took place some time back when Amos was the presidential spokesperson. So this union representative was even saying, oh, you as miners, you have to make sure that you continue working hard. You need to come on time to work and blah, blah, blah. Sweet talking the poor miners. And then behind their backs, they are busy stealing. And today in the new Dawn government, the same regime is challenging us to say, okay, you are now in governance. We want free education. We want this and that. How can we even implement? To start with, they store everything. And then secondly, we are still in the budget of PF, which we all know that they store a lot of things. And then the other thing I'm going to talk about is I'm kind of losing my patience with ACC, DEC, and Zambia Police.
Just the whole bunch.
It's like it's like they're doing things just theoretically.
Absolutely.
Appeasing us, and then we are not seeing any action. Within the past few weeks, we've heard of the councillor. I don't know how far that case has gone. That councillor who stole, the one that the people assumed it's Tasila Lungu.
Yeah, who bought a bank.
It just died.
The whole lot of them. Tasila went on to sue
a whole lot of the bank and everything. Yeah. People made noise about it, and it's been swept under the I don't know how far that case has gone.
Thank you so much.
And then we have the case of Faith Musonda.
Yeah.
Again, we were hoping something would be done. Honestly, seeing that colossal amount of money in the homes when hospitals had no medication, no oxygen. Some of us were fundraising money in order to help the people back home in Zambia to have oxygen because of COVID. A lot of people died because of oxygen. In the United Kingdom, people survived because of oxygen.
Absolutely.
Fundraising.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
This case has just, I don't know how far it has gone. And now we are talking of the Miringo case. He's been arrested and he's on bond. We don't know. So to me, it's like we are just talking, but the action, we are not seeing it. Now look at that maid who stole kidnapped the children. There was that story of this girl who works for an Asian couple, and she kidnapped. That was wrong. Anyway, she kidnapped the kids and the vehicle and blah, blah, blah. It has been so fast track. She's been going on for 5 years.
I know.
It just took like
absolutely. Thank you so much, You've raised
she's in prison. So what's happening to these other big cases? So ACC, to me, it should be dissolved. We need new people. DEC dissolved. We just need to clean up the system. Otherwise, we'll keep talking. It will be just like lip service. But we are not seeing these criminals going to court. And then other cases, we are seeing them going super, super fast. You know, that woman, she's in court as I'm speaking. She's in prison 5 years.
Absolutely.
It happened like 24, 48 hours. But what's happening to these big criminals?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your thoughts on that. Just to add, David Kaluva says, do you think PF cadres will go away from the markets? If you think so, then you are deluding yourselves. So maybe you may not want UPND cadres to take over, but PF will just carry on with that. I will move on to Bamukelevaye, who's been incredibly patient with me. And so did you want to add anything to what Valikezo said? And then we'll move on to Barbara.
Copper belt, copper landama miners, mwali bomba, twatotela sana nomba mulei mwena mweka. Echo mwale votela ocho mwavootele ba PF out mu government mwayi mwena nomba chifire chitika efyo bale chitabaleyisa mukumi bepa okutira ati n'abakwata interest yenu pamitima. They are there to help you. Avena kambwiri, they will be coming there to tell you bad things about the opposition, trying to dent a very bad picture. Moneni nomba fifire chitika. Moneni tatwa kwete mpia mu Zambia. There was no money that was in circulation. Mwale mona makadas, they were busy displaying monies. Mwale mona abantu ofobale nonka from the time they started PF, they came into PF immediately 2 days mu office umuntu akwete 4 million, 10 million, but they are driving expensive cars. Mwali bombesha bakubafunya mwali chitabwino because mwali monefi alechitika it was unfair. People have died without medicine in hospitals for death that ought to have been prevented. So, in Nochonde Lomba Kuliva Haka in the Chileman, the administration is please listen to us. Listen to the people of the Copper Belt. These were the cries, Ama miners, these have been their cry from the time Chiruva came into power until PF as well took over. These miners have been taken advantage of. Bale balila masukupa mitwe. Bale ya mukubomba ma mines baingila. Bambi bali fuila muma bale fwanama untreatable diseases with respiratory problems. But uyumuntu aisafi because aingira mu power mu PF for 2 days. Our rich the money that these people are being found with. So what we are trying to say is, please, Bahaka in the Ichilema, with your administration, please take these people out completely, remove them from the system or suspend them so that they should not take any active role in the running of the businesses of the day. They are not, if anything, even those parliamentarians, the legislatures that were appointed, that were elected to be back, they ought to be actually on suspensions, waiting or pending the matters to be cleaned, and let them declare their assets so that we know.
Very good points raised there. Now, what do you think? Let's speculate a little bit here. What do you think is the biggest problem that the government has? Why don't they just do what you've just said? Why can't
they are scared to make mistakes? They haven't done their homework thoroughly. You know, this power, when they came into power, it came abruptly because they thought in their mind, they thought this election was going to be rigged again, because
I would like to disagree with that. If you have been in waiting for over 20 years, how can you be perplexed when you're suddenly given the baton to run? You just run, don't you?
You see, they are confused right now. They are overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. They have a lot of issues to tack on, and they cannot please every Zambian or answer all the questions. But that's why but I like the style of Hakainde where he's saying he has to think through.
He's very methodical.
Yes, he has to think through before he acts. Okay. So that way, it's much better. So that let us investigate these matters thoroughly. And once we have enough evidence, please, we want to see, like Ivachirufia put it to say, we want to see people being sentenced into being locked up.
Absolutely.
The judiciary,
Thank you
they
so
are
much.
the key to our cry. Let them open those prisons and put these chaps in.
Thank you,
to deter these new politicians from stealing as well.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. If you see viewers, if you're just joining us, you are welcome to TV Bakwetu, and I'm Linda Banks with my fellow panelists. I think this will be a good time for me to mention the stars. Please kindly, I will be noticing this. I'll be mentioning some people who are sending stars. If you do that, I've got my iPad right next to me. Kindly send us some stars, because this is how the station operates. And if you also see any of the panelists smiling, don't think we've gone cuckoo, don't think we are going psychotic. There are some hilarious comments that are being passed here. I'll just read one of them from Patrick, who is very naughty, I must say. At Valikezo, I saw Percy writing some notes. You will be in trouble when we go background. So if you just see any of us giggling, don't think we're going crazy. They're just some really destructive comments being written down here. And Kelvin Kafwimbi said Likezo is very angry, but she's very right. So I just giggled there. Don't think na tupena tuweze kafeti seke seke. Okay. I will move on to
1 second before you give it thing on comments.
Yeah.
There's Akim Sims says that Jeremy, this guy says he's a UPND member and is prepared to sue Jeremy for going against the directive of the president, of which, to be honest with you, Jeremy, my colleague, my brother, I agree with this boy.
But Jeremy, he insolence.
No, because they are speaking, and there's a lot of comments in terms to do with the cadres. Okay. And that's my feeling as well. You can't put cadres in the markets and say, no, they won't be collecting money. You are doing the same thing PF was doing.
But Jeremy, it's true.
You can't give chakolwa, ni chakolwa mwikiro bwalwa, but we katapo, na ikarale butam. That's what you guys are doing. Thank you. I'll leave it there because I just wanted to highlight the comments, what they're talking about. As far as it's, especially you, Jeremy, actually, that's what they're commenting.
Can I just say something on that?
Yes.
I think Mwaliteta, Comrade Mwaliteta, should have explained why he wants to create branches around markets and bus stations, because we should not go back to the cadreism of the PF.
Absolutely.
Cadres are very important. They are foot soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
But we shouldn't go back to that.
No. You're right, Patrick. For me, I'll give Jeremy half a minute as soon as I finish this bit to defend himself. For me, I think it's true. You're portraying insolence, but President Navalanda yo no took yoko na imweko mwaya. But twalampela chance muichte defend. But what I wanted to say was the PF regime was gotten rid of because people got tired of being harassed by cadres. And if we make the same, I'm saying I can't even decide if I'm UPND or not. I'm Zambian, so Katuishi. Anyway, so the double H administration should not make the same mistake. But Jeremy, half a second. Half a minute. Each then defend.
Yeah, I think one thing that you need to understand is it's not about going to get other people from somewhere to come and be in the structures. No, it's the same marketeers, the same people who sell in the market, who sell tomatoes, onions, they are the same themselves who start mobilizing among themselves as UPND members. That's one thing you should understand. No one is going against the presidential directive. And moreover, if the president says no cadre or no one should collect the money from the markets, if you have your own structures there, the structures, they will get that message and communicate, and they'll start reporting other people who may start going against the presidential directive. In that way, it is easier to execute the presidential directive, unlike where if the president says no one or no cadre should collect anything from the market, well, other people are correcting, everyone will start asking, where are these people coming from? In that way, you have a lot of problem and confusion. So we are not saying we are going to get chakorwas or whatever people from other places. No, the same people who work in the market 24/7 365 days are the people we are saying, let's start mobilizing them, removing the green component and make them the UPND.
For what purpose, Bajaram?
Look, we should understand very well that African politics or Zambian politics so about numbers. My vote and someone who just a grade 1 is just the same. Whether I've got PhDs, masters is just the same. So we need to understand very well that at a certain level, you need certain people to convince their fellows. Myself, I have a certain level to convince my friends who are at my same level with my education. And there's also other people who are on the lower level of education who can also convince their fellow people at that level. So no wonder you need to keep having these structures so that they
why
continue.
Does it have to be? Bajaram, I'm sorry to cut you. I apologize for interjecting there. Why does it have to be at markets?
The structures are not on the market, they are everywhere. And one thing you should understand, and let me make it clear, even the time we were going to the election for this 2021, we had the silent structures in the markets. We had silent structures in the bus stations. These people, just that they couldn't be coming out there because their businesses will be affected. So, so if we say we have these people who are party structures or who belong or who sympathize with the party and they are our members to help us put everything or the presidential directive concerning the market in active or in working, there's no problem with that.
Okay, Bajaram, on that one, yeah,
can I say something?
We will agree to disagree. But Barbara, go for it.
I think the problem with the market is, from where I'm coming from, there's a certain fear in the grassroots within the cadres that they are being overtaken by the PF cadres. There's this unknown fear at 2 months of winning the elections, which is unrealistic.
But
the reason I say unrealistic is because we don't have a social media driven UPND that drives the information that we want for our grassroots. That's where there's a problem. If we sort out that problem, the UPND can have offices in Lumumba Road, they can have offices anywhere, they can have a high level person in UPND who also has a stand in the market, but they don't have to wear a t-shirt and go walking around saying I'm UPND, because if you can do that, what should stop the PAP or the other socialist party to do that? Because they're also occupying the same space. Because the message that people are getting is that UPND now is in power. They want to start terrorizing and harassing people the way they envied PF do it. Absolutely. Which is not the case.
No.
Because if we won the election, whilst PF had the cadres and beating up people, then I don't see why we should envy those structures because they lost. However, we do need to have structures for the grassroots because they're important. And let's not lie to ourselves. They also need a stake in the cake of the winning, because what's happened, just since Tony Blair is within Zambia, when Tony Blair was asked about his presidency, he said at some point that he felt like a Man United supporter, very excited, who's suddenly picked up as a president or as a prime minister of the UK. So that means he felt a bit clueless. By the time he knew what he was doing, he didn't have the favor of the people. That is what we need to avoid with HH.
Absolutely.
We don't want HH to have the support of the people and him looking clueless.
Yeah.
And then by the time people stop supporting them, then probably he'll understand what he needs to do with all these structures. Because right now, on the international level, we have a president who's scoring 200%. He's absolutely fine. He's standing next to Tony Blair. The pictures themselves, they look like these people are talking as colleagues. Julius Nyerere once said that we are not behind you, we are working together. That's a classic example. They were working together. Yeah, exactly. He looked the part.
Confidence. Yes, I know what you mean.
But then we have our own national structures which are failing. The reason they're failing is because somehow, somewhere, someone is not doing their job.
Thank you
Because
very
it's
much.
supposed to
You
be a
ended
dominoes
that.
effect. We are all supposed to be connected to you. I'm
Absolutely.
UPND. Officially, I am.
Mhm.
Somehow, somewhere, there's something broken because those young people should not feel as if they're not connected to somebody.
Absolutely.
They
Thank
are
you so much, Barbara.
the young people's heads are the ladders that took HH to the office where he is.
Absolutely.
So we need to protect them. So maybe we can have, instead of saying we're going to go to the markets, because that is like trying to make those people feel like, oh, shine the way your friends were shining. That's what, let's face it, that's what people understand. Even me, if I was in the market, I'll be like, oh, it's
Hey, absolutely. So key thing, perhaps the government need to move very quickly, create deliberate policies that will help these youths get their teeth stuck into something, start either learning a skill or start working, anything, something. I'm desperate for that. Quick message. I would like to say thank you to Shupe Piri being a supporter, and Joe Flynn, well done, congratulations, and thank you for coming on board on the Backway to family. Now I'm going to hand over the floor to Wallace, especially the the picture to Wallace, are you there?
He's muted.
Good evening.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go for it, please. The floor is yours.
Hi, everybody there. So I appreciate that, Linda. Yeah, I'm in Birmingham. I just want to. I've listened to this quite for a long time now. I really, I'm really disappointed. I want to attack, every part of the, government, because, it's for me is I'm really disappointed. I want these people like Milingo to be really fast tracked, tracked, and then he's given a bond. I want him to go to court tomorrow and then be prosecuted and then go to, prison. I don't want. I want these people to be prosecuted and be behind bars because they have actually crippled, Zambian people who are innocent. Taxpayers' money is actually wasted. So what are we waiting? Why are we giving them bond and then they are breathing fresh air like anybody else when they're actually criminals? So I want them to go to jail. There's no point to be holding them. I want the president tomorrow to say something which will actually encourage the police, the DEC, the anti-corruption, even if the anti-corruption and the DEC, they're also suspicious because of the directors who are heading them, because they're from PF, but because the president is keeping them, he should make them work and work effectively because he's keeping them. I don't know why he's keeping them. He has given us a police, IG, which is very, very good for us. Now he should have given us DEC directors, ACC directors, so that at least people who have teeth, who can bite. We have these people who are absolutely coming from PF, and when they go in the investigations there, they are compromising, they are hiding issues as well. We have heard about Musondas, Tasilas, and things are getting fading up slowly. We are not happy about what is going on. If you look at what is going on, like what someone said last week, he says, if we get these monies from these people who have been stealing money, actually we can get trillions of kwachas and we can actually, run Zambia from what they have stolen. There are a lot of monies from there. But people are being suspected, and the DEC, anti-corruption, police, they're darling. I'm not happy with that. Thank you very much. Someone else have to pick it from there.
You're
Linda,
muted.
unmute yourself, Linda. Unmute
You're muted.
yourself.
Thank you for that, Durham. This muting and unmuting, Balikezo, could you kindly just add a few points on what Wallace has said? Because I know you've got some burning issues. I've been following your messages on our WhatsApp group. So I want to give you a little bit more time. And I got a comment from one of the viewers saying, could you give Balikezo a bit more time? She has data. Yeah, in Bemba language. Now I've got the data.
Well,
Not
thanks for
data,
someone
but
trusting that I've got
data.
data. Actually, I do agree with Wallace. I think it's just speaking the same language. Like my concerns have been like, with all due respect to the president, he's got a lot of work to do. But what we want is for him to have a team that is surrounding him, speaking the same language with him. Like right now, we've got the ministers. Okay, the ministers are there in place, and then we've got the PSCs, and then the board of directors. The concern that I've got is, in some of the ministries, we still have the boards intact. The boards are still there intact. From PF. Talk of parastatals like ZESCO. We know ZESCO. There's a lot of things that has been happening in ZESCO. So me as a Zambian, much as I'm a UPND supporter, but generally as a Zambian, I'm looking back and I'm wondering, I'm like, almost 2 months, why are we still having these boards in place? Why are they still there? We could be having a minister who's trying to make sure that they work. This is New Dawn. They want to work, as the president has said, that we are going out there. We are servants. We are the servants of the people. But here's a person who goes into this ministry. They're surrounded by these people who are still in the old regime. Mind you, power is sweet for some of these people. They don't want to leave.
That's why
as UPND, we still have a lot of work and cleansing to do. Yeah. I know somebody already was commenting to say, ACC, we shouldn't disrespect the president. With all due respect, I'm not disrespecting the president. But what I want is for him and the whole team, the ministers and everybody, to make sure that the people they are going to work with are those who've got a vision for the people of Zambia, the ordinary Zambian. We don't want to have people who are going into politics to enrich themselves, to have all these masses of properties and building everywhere when a commoner, just an ordinary Zambian is suffering somewhere. And it just pains me. So what I'm saying is that, it's time we moved on and made sure that some of these ministries, Ministry of Education, for instance, believe it or not, Ministry of Education is most of them are PF in the topmost. I don't care what people are going to say. That's a fact. Because if you go back, their own Davis Mueller, the SG, he used to say in one of the videos, he clearly said that when you are putting people into positions, get your people. He was telling their own people, get your people in the meeting. Exactly. So who are the people they are talking about? It's those people, their relatives, their husbands, their daughters, their what have you. They went out, they're the Debs, they're the what? The same. So that's why I'm saying there's need of cleansing. There's need of, whether we like it or not, we really need to cleanse the system, because it's not just about the president himself saying change of leadership. It's change of leadership and the team. It's holistic.
Absolutely.
The whole thing is holistic.
Yeah.
Thank you so
much. Thank you. You've alluded to quite a lot of things there. HH has got an agenda. He's got a plan. He's got a vision for the people. He's not in it to enrich himself. He needs to have a team that subscribe to the same school of thought. ZESCO, you talked about, lots of ghost workers there. Ministry of Education. Baba is still in the Ministry of Education. Who knows? Anyone?
By Parliament, he was re-elected.
Yeah.
Rapo, take it up. You can start from there, Rapo, from Mabumba. It just infuriates me.
Well, Mabumba is back in Parliament. He was re-elected. Constituents. I think I saw him on the inauguration day. He's been quiet, maybe for obvious reasons.
Biology
Yeah.
practicals valid.
Well, all I can tell you is that he was dressed when he was last in Parliament, which is a plus. Yeah. Well, I wanted to just pick a point about the way the UPND are tackling issues. One of them being there's been a lot of complaints about the way the Anti-Corruption Commission, DEC, and the other organs are dealing with the cases. You know, like they come on and mention about this very big case, then it goes quiet. You know, I think it's sending very wrong signals, which are sounding like there's a lot of sensationalism behind all that. Then it creates a lot of excitement among people because we are all very expectant. But to every one of these big announcements, there's always they're being followed by an anticlimax, which just it just kind of goes quiet. So there's a question we people are asking: are we being taken for a ride? Are we just being excited for nothing? And behind the scenes, is the president or the government, are they being given briefings to say this is what we are working on and what sort of? I understand the UPND are saying we should leave them to work independently, unlike the case was. But it's not reflecting well on the government. You know, it's creating an impression that they are taking us for a ride. But then they go quiet. Are those cases really happening or not? You know, it's time we need to start moving beyond announcements and seeing actions. You know, the other bit I wanted to talk about was when the president, I think one of the first statements he made, he said, we've got these things that we promised you, so we will let you people be marking us. Take out your papers and your pens and start marking us. I think he needs to keep that in mind to say, marking. And sometimes as people, we can be very harsh because we are not seeing the things that we were promised. So I think they need to start, whatever promises have been put across, we need to start seeing action behind that. Ama announcements, Felicia, without actions.
Okay. Thank you so much. A quick comment from Douglas Muitwa, Dr. Barbara Chanda. You really have a point. Cadres fought tooth and nail in order for them to feel close to the power, so they should not be neglected. If they are neglected, that is playing with fire. Douglas even, says. So that is a very good point. From the panel, does anyone want to comment on what Malama Chanda?
Yeah, okay. Let me come in over the issue of on what Mr. Marama said. We should understand one thing to say. If you remember very well, the time PF was in government, it was sensational after sensational. They said this, but execution is not there. This now shows you to say that the people are running these institutions like SCCA, DEC, or whatever thing are still with the PF mentality and they are still PF members. And this now need to be stopped by having new people in these institutions. And this is what now most people are saying. And when I heard Linda, she mentioned to say the president is doing things in a very methodical way. And we hope very soon that methodical way it also catch these other institutions that we are talking about, because we don't want to go back in the PF way where you say this thing but no action follows up, only stealing follows up. So we hope that with the other technocrats who will be put there, you see, in running these institutions, they will be making sure that when they announce something to the members of the public, they have all the evidence with them. And I like the members of the public nowadays. They are talking, people are talking. And when the last time the Anti-Corruption Commission mentioned about the cases they are investigating, the bank and all that, the people stood up to say, this is what you have been saying. And this is now 3 weeks. We have not heard anything now from the Anti-Corruption Commission concerning what much progress they have done. And actually, they also mentioned about the cases which they are following up before the elections. Actually, before the elections, I reported about the matter concerning the 13 dams in Rwanda, where some former civic leaders were involved in the setting of the 13 dams. But up to today, the Anti-Corruption Commission have not anywhere said anything concerning the matter, despite following up the matter which have been making, not even with getting back to me. So you wonder to say, what type of cases are these people investigating? Well, they are forgetting the cases where the people of Rwanda were duped of the 10 million, which they said that, someone has bought these 10 dams and this is 10 million they are going to give to you. And up to today, nothing has happened. So we asked, how did a private company found itself with the title deed of the land that belongs to the government in terms of ZCCM? All those things were sent to Anti-Corruption Commission, but up to today they have done nothing. So you wonder to say, are they trying to defend or trying to protect their former bosses who are members? So these are some of the issues, and I agree very much with what Mr. Paul said. Anyway, let me end here.
Okay.
There's one
you
more
had your
thing.
hand up, Percy.
It's just a question, because I don't have a clue. People in Zambia might be able to answer that. According to one of the comments, he says, this is Hilary Kasumu. She says, some suspects, the dog is missing. Basically, the files for the case is missing. Even the Joseph Kaunda one is also missing. How true is that?
From the panel, do we have anyone who could shed more light on that? No?
Yeah.
Okay.
You see,
Jerome?
on the issue of files going missing, those things are very much common here in Zambia. No wonder, you see, that it's very difficult in Zambia to sue any health worker for medical negligence. Do you know the reason why the files goes missing? So we need to find and work in a smart way where everything that we are doing, we go in terms of go in a digital way, and we keep the file not in one area, but we keep the file maybe in 3 or 4 areas, so that if there we type somewhere and what case, other servers, 3 or 4 servers, they have the same files and all that. Not in a situation where the files are missing like that. I think that's not the way it's supposed to be. We need to move from the physical or paper files to electronic one or e-files, so that we are able to save. It is very difficult this time in Zambia to even sue a medical person for medical negligence, where you, the relative, you are convinced that there are serious medical negligence here. But when they go ask for the file by the court, the file will not have that situation or that thing that put a person on.
Yeah, which is such a shame. That's a very good point. Actually, you are speaking from experience, Jerome, because you are in that field. I would just like Barbara to add to that, because in Britain, what happens? Everything is centralized, it's digitalized. You could be in Sussex and you go to Scotland, the doctor there, medical practitioner, can just type in your NHS number and all your medical files come up and everything that has transpired come up. HH is capable of doing all that, making sure that everything is digitalized. He used to be called, he used to be referred to as the Facebook president. So he's very down with technology. It's something that does not require too much investment to do that. But Paul, you had your hand up. I've got such amazing panels.
Yeah, we are very orderly. We are not like
That's impressive. Go for it. Thank you. Thank you for making my life so much easier.
We are not like the PF,
Thank you so much. Go for it.
Yeah. No, what I was saying, actually, I wanted to just add on to what Jerome is saying. I think it's a two-way system. It's about having the right systems in place. And also, it still comes down to the personnel behind it. you know, which still feeds into the fact that the PF are maintaining people in certain sensitive positions which they are not supposed to be in.
Mm-hmm.
I'll use the same example that Jerome just gave, where he's saying files go missing, you know, in sensitive cases. So what's preventing, already as it is, we don't have systems which can store files in various places for retrieval in case anyone tries to delete it. Now, on top of that, you've got the same culprits overseeing the same system, which is already porous. So basically, the UPND are shooting themselves in the foot by not being proactive. And by being proactive, what I mean is they should have walked in with a list of priority areas to say, these are very sensitive. The moment we walk in, we push these guys out, we put our people in, and we start investigations. It probably is explaining why you are getting things like, oh, we've got this councillor who bought a bank for this much monies, but then tomorrow it just goes quiet. Maybe it's because the same people who announced that are reporting to their PF masters, who just picks up the phone and say, Bwana, 20 million. You know, you can't talk like that. If you go on doing this, you are going to be investigated as well. You are going to be implicated. So next moment, they'll start working on deleting those files or changing things, hiding evidence. You know, So it's a very sensitive situation which they need to act on, and quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mamalama. But Barbara, please add a little bit to that, because I know you are a medical doctor in the United Kingdom.
Sorry, I just unmuted myself now, this muting thing. So in regards to record keeping, yes, in the UK, the NHS is online at the moment, so it can be anywhere in the UK, and the medical doctor will just put your NHS number and your records would come up. But even prior to that, before it went online, there was a robust record keeping everywhere, and that goes to every department. I think even in Zambia, it used to be like that once upon a time. However, what needs to be done in Zambia is the mindset change, because we've changed the way we work. We've changed our culture to be so trivial. So we live in a begging society. So everyone has become corrupt. As much as we're looking at the really top people who are stealing colossal amounts of money, the stealing trickles down to the lowest person, because that's the culture people are living in. You know, just in the KK time, I can give you a story. My grandfather used to live in Chimwemwe. They used to give them things like, you know, they come to kill mosquitoes and blah, blah, blah. Someone would offer to give them more of what they were supposed to have. They would say no, because the culture at that time, they were not used to being given free things. At the moment, we're living in a culture where everyone wants something extra. Even if you speak to somebody today, they'll tell you that they want extra for something. They'll tell you, I'll need something, because that's the culture we are living in.
The spirit of
so when it comes to data, you can just tell, maybe the top person at DEC could ask for a record. Somebody can pay just the clerk who's just supposed to move paper one from office A to office B to make those things disappear, because we are living in a culture where there are a lot of poor people. There is a lot of money flowing around. There is a lot of false judgment or false belief that we are Christians. So on one hand, we are eating with the devil. On the other hand, we are pretending to be Christian. So the PF are using the goodwill of HH's face of being a good guy, a Christian, we should follow the rules, whilst they destroy everything that is trying to do. So we have to change that approach, because let's face it, trying to tell the PF thieves to be taken at the pace that we want, you know, the pace that our president wants it to be, is literally trying to tell Pablo Escobar to not sell drugs. You go to Pablo Escobar and tell him nice things about not selling drugs, that he can go to prison. You have to find another way of catching them, like they did.
Exactly.
They have to find another way of catching these thieves. It has to be fast. It has to be quick. Because right now, as we're speaking, money is leaving Zambia.
Very quickly.
As we are speaking, houses are being bought right here in UK.
Absolutely. I was just watching a Mukula documentary. Such sad viewing. Really, really sad. I'm just going to read a comment from one of our Bakwetu family, Beauty Digan, who surprised she's not here because I saw her earlier. She says, so any panelists, please feel free to respond to this. Are there any by-elections anywhere in Zambia? She says, have the UPND ministers been helping the gentleman campaign at all? So obviously she's alluding to the by-elections that are just coming up. Is he getting any help? All I've seen is Lubinda going round the country. Mwebantu, any comment? Who wants to take that up? Bamalama.
Yeah,
then
there are no by-elections I'm aware of as far as I'm concerned, but the explanation to Lubinda's actions are that they are trying to get their voice out there, their voice heard. It's a propaganda trip he is doing. And for me, this is where I say the UPND should wake up and wake up now. You know, for every poison they put out there, the PF, and they've got a lot of it, you know. We should not underestimate the 1.8 million that voted for them. Those are active people. They are still alive. There are still a good proportion of them out there who still would give an ear to the PF. So the UPND need to be back on, they need to be on their backs to say, these guys are lying, and keep reminding the people to say, the dire situation we found ourselves in was caused by these same people, you know. Lubinda has been saying a lot of nonsense, I'm sorry to say. He's been speaking a lot of nonsense the past few weeks. But if you pay attention to him, he has no message. He's been bouncing about, saying one thing today, tomorrow saying another. He was throwing a lot of mud at the UPND a few days ago or a week ago. The UPND have been in power for just over a month. You can't judge them harshly on anything. They're just settling in. But Lubinda has been saying a lot of things which don't even make sense. He's basically trying to paint them black. But at the same time, today, or is it yesterday, he is saying they want to go around the country to apologize to people. That's the same person who, a few days ago,
from the same mouth.
Yeah,
thank you so much, Mamalama. Yeah, Vamkelevai, do you have anything to add to that?
These guys are still suffering from post-traumatic stress. They actually they have no agenda right now. They are confused, and what you see from Lubinda coming out and saying all kind of things, it's just a way of trying to put a straight face to the people that rejected them big time. But we know, as what we have been talking about, this thing that the current government has just been given the mandate to govern just from few months ago. But here we are hearing the things that we've been talking actually a lot by the Bakwetu family, that where you have been advocating for expedition of all these matters, that he should not keep the former PF cadres, whatever members in government, for they are going to jeopardize or destroy evidence. And already here we are talking about records going missing. And for Samansama, we just hear these are just the rumors. We don't know about them if they're
allegedly. We have to be careful with our language and always use
absolutely.
Allegedly.
They're alleging
otherwise,
that
our council is not here to defend us. We'll be sued.
Absolutely. So we have to understand that people can see, people know what they're talking about. They're talking from frustration, and they see that these people that we wanted to see them behind either bars behind prison. They are still walking freely on the market, and they're even boasting, and they have the capacity, they have the monies, had cash in their trunks, and yet the UPND have nothing. They've come from the opposition. They've been campaigning without enough money. But these PF guys, even when they moved out of government, they had to get whatever money that remained. They have the capacity to pay anybody. From the evidence, you can tell these monies that we see from the Benefit and even Milingo. Just imagine, like my sister Likezo put it, that this is just this is just the tip of an iceberg, because these guys, they are really, really panicking right now. And what you see, mukamona fika chitika mailo, because our government, by government beswaka in by the new government, if we and get rid of the bad eggs.
Absolutely.
Especially namu judiciary.
Definitely.
Especially namu judiciary.
Yeah.
And because if you are busy fighting just for justice, that you must, these guys will end up in the courts of law. But when it reaches the court of law, these will be the people that will mitigate, or rather will judge them. And you will hear more stories, because you cannot bite a finger that fed you or that feeds you.
Fantastic. That is an excellent point to end on.
Revise the justice system and shift all these guys in the judiciary, especially the Lacuna courts.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mkalevai. Excellent points to end on. I just want to say a very quick thank you to Peter Firestarter, which is quite an interesting name, for sending 100 stars in 7 weeks straight. Thank you so much. Keep those stars coming in, guys. I am having a little scroll around. And just to say thank you for those who've already done that. And if you haven't, please consider doing that. Some of you have been sending messages to say how in God's name do you send these stars. All you have to do is, if you're on Facebook mobile, right at the very bottom on your right hand side, there's a little yellow star. Just click on that and it will give you step-by-step directions on how to do that. I'm going to move on to Beauty. I read one of your comments. Please feel free to touch on any of the topics that we have talked about, or if you have any burning topic that you'd like to talk about Beauty, please go ahead.
Linda, you know what? I think I know you're about to close, so maybe I'll leave it to the background. Thank you so much for the
Okay, Bakafwimbi, thank you. Bakel Vinapumudi?
When we close.
Okay, you come back when we close?
Mkwai.
Okay, I will give Patrick, actually, who has been impeccably behaved.
Linda.
Mkwai, my Patrick request.
It's either you want trouble or you want something good from me.
Imwe, you don't live very far. We discovered that we're not very far from each other. So ask Vanti and we can arrange in case Eminaila Kwakabwali. So that's how
your sister. But Linda, you think I'm an old man?
No, Muchish Wakunganda.
No, she's your sister.
My sister, yes, okay.
You might be shocked that she's younger than you.
That is true. That is very true. Go for it.
Yeah. So I think most of you guys have touched on what I wanted to say. Yeah, I'm just worried about the pace at which some cases are going, and I've no confidence in SEC, deck, even the police. Maybe with a new, because when you look at the 7 years under the criminal Lungu regime, I call it one of the most corrupt, cruelest, visionless regime Zambia has ever seen. They never prosecuted anybody. The only person they prosecuted successfully was a lady who was the deputy minister or minister of something, because it involved money from the donors. And it wasn't a lot of money, because that's the only time I heard Lungu firing somebody because that person is involved in just because the money that was involved is the cash transfer, which is donor funded, which is really sad. So to me, I think Zesco, I wasn't expecting the board of Zesco to be there today, because there's been so much mess. You know, I've got a theory. The reason why the PF went to ZCCM is they siphoned Zesco to death. They were like a tick. They were just siphoning all the parastatals. Look at RDA. They used it to steal money. They stole until they couldn't even have money to do the roads, the toll gates. So they were just siphoning. I think Zesco was so much siphoned that, I think Zesco was suffering from one of those diseases where somebody doesn't have blood. I think Dr. Barbara can tell us that. And then they went to ZCCM, and that money Milingo was stealing, he was sharing with his fellow criminals. And maybe that money was ending up in State House. And that's the same money you saw with Faith, because there's no way Faith can have that kind of money. We all know the job she was doing. She was in broadcasting, and then she moved to ZDA. She was just a manager there. A manager at ZDA can't have that kind of a house. Faith was staying in 65 million. I've got a feeling, because Hakainde said, when we come into power, we don't want to arrest people and then start investigating. We want first to thoroughly investigate and then arrest people. So I think it's too premature for us to start judging the police regarding Faith's case. Mind you guys, criminal gangs are very sophisticated. And it's not easy to prosecute cases like Faith, because there must be so many people involved in because for them to interrogate Faith for 8 hours, they must have collected so much information, and then they have to digest that information, analyze it, look for clues, because and I'm pretty sure the next day you're gonna hear Faith appearing in court, she'll be charged.
Fingers crossed, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Yeah, but I have no confidence in DEC. I have no confidence in the bosses at SEC, Minister of Finance. Oh my God, Minister of Health, and even Minister of Finance, because you heard from Honorable Mabeta that even when UPND was in power, $30 million was paid. Imagine. The new administration is there, and they are paying money behind them.
Exactly.
So
it's not even their budget. It's a cartel, and
cartels in business, in drugs, they are very difficult to break. You destroy them today, they will manifest in a different form. They're like coronavirus. They're like viruses. They mutate.
Yeah.
So they will, just like PF. PF is a criminal gun. You destroy it today, it will mutate the following day.
Do you have
Barbara
confidence
will
in the
help with
police?
how viruses operate. They imitate themselves.
Yeah.
Because they know that the blood cells know them, and they
Yeah.
come in a different shape. So this is what PF is doing.
Do you have confidence, Patrick, in the police?
I have no confidence at all, because the same people who are investigating Faith, they're the same people who have never told us what has happened to Kaunda's case, Sama's case. There are so many other cases. So how do there is need for total cleansing, especially people on top, even judges, because I've seen when a new president comes in America, in the UK, the first people they touch is judges, the top judges.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that Concord. You keep that Concord and you expect UPND will win a case. They will never win a case. All those Concord people from top to down are PF aligned.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then Concord and even a lot of top judges, they need to get rid of them. And then intelligence. You cannot keep the same intelligence bosses who were in the previous regime. Zesco should just be thrown into the sea.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that.
Into the Kafue River.
No, not in the Kafue River, because it can kill Mama Chikamonek.
You see, did you see?
We're talking of high voltage power. So we don't want that to be destroyed in Kafue.
No, absolutely not. But Patrick, did you see how quickly Kelevai jumped on? He was off the camera as soon as we said Kafue River, Mama Chikamonika, he was back.
He's the one who protected her. He's the one who informed the people not to, because he had interest in the assets.
We should bring that lady back on the panel one of these days.
I can see a lot of
Actually, there is a video. I don't know if you guys have seen it. There is a video flying
the mine.
Yeah, in the mines, and she was sitting behind a smart office.
Yeah,
I don't know whether she borrowed somebody's office.
She's got an office. Mama Chikamonika bari katuka. Panelists, I'm sure you can't see what I'm seeing. There's a lot of laugh out emojis at the expense of Kelevai and Mama Chikamonika. I do apologize. That is below the belt. I'm so sorry. I could not resist. Right, I can see that we have quite a lot of people just joining us. I'm really sorry you're joining us towards the end, but welcome to TV Bakwetu, and this is Linda Banks with my friends Mkeleva, Valikezo, Patrick, Barbara, Vapo, Chama, Wallace, Kelvin, and Beauty in the background. And and someone was saying he looks like Valiuk Darisan. I don't know what happened to his camera, but he's done an incredible job reading the comments. There he is. He's back. Now I'm panga tuti te. Mule panga tuti for Tulelanda. Mulipaka snack break.
Something, please.
Of course, I'm going to give each one of us literally a minute before we close. So prepare your thoughts.
Okay, it's just a comment from one of our followers, Ngasi Ngondo. Winga is saying, I feel like TV Bakwetu is now a party on its own because you hardly review or make analysis of viewers' comments. So this is one of the comments from our followers, the people who are viewing. They feel like we are not involving them. And yeah, I must say somehow today, this evening it has been, so maybe if we can just improve on that. I made the comment to say we'll try our best to involve our followers, and point taken.
Thank you so much.
I just thought I read it out.
I find it quite exciting, and Percy is very good at this because I meet him in the comments when people are commenting on what we're doing or telling us off about cutting somebody. He's always in the comments trying to respond and reassure people that it's not that we don't like the contestants, we're all family. It's just that I've got a big clock that is going ding, ding, ding. So sometimes I have to interject, or Gladys has to interject some people. But Patrick, very briefly.
Just 1 second, Belinda. I'm going through the comments people are making. And I think that 1 minute we can use it to answer one of the questions.
Okay.
Most people are saying the new administration is very slow at doing things. They are not moving at the pace at which people expect them. And I think it will be good for us to talk about that.
That's
in that
really
1
good.
minute.
And comment by Patrick. Who said that?
Just hold on. At Catalina Mwanza.
Okay, Catalina, thank you so much for that.
Catalina Mwanza.
Important point.
However, Patrick, they are too slow. So even now, they can be moving funds around. People are worried that the pace at which they are moving, the total pace, the PF can be moving funds around and stealing.
That's true. Thank you so much for that. Comment to read out. I deliberately do this because it's really nice to hear, to have a little bit of an insight into what our viewers are thinking about or worried about. So if I give you a couple of minutes to just read through your feeds, if you want to share what people are saying, or you have your own thoughts, then we can close. But Barbara.
Okay, I'll read a feed. So
if we could just make them really short and quick, then we can close.
I'll just mention there's Inambao saying that he's missing the general.
Oh, we're missing the general too.
Mwinga Ngondo thanking Valikezo. Another one missing Musha.
Musha, yeah, he's busy. He's in court.
Yeah.
So sorry he can't.
General is looking after grandchildren.
Yes.
That one I know.
And enjoying himself, eating a lot of nshima and shani, iwondwe. I missed that.
And then another one just mentioning the slowness of things that this is Nana 21. It's been 4 weeks, so exorbitant funds have already moved. So just mainly people, the main theme is the slowness of how things are going.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so
much.
much.
So I think that's where we should focus on that. And
on another note, Valinda. Short Mulenga, well moderated, Linda. Nice shot today.
Thank you so much. And thanks to the team. The team have been raising hands. It's made my jobs. I haven't been telling anyone.
And then this one, Valinda, please.
Oh, no.
Let me say it. Joe Flynn. Now we know Keleba is favorite anatomy.
Leave my brother alone, please.
No, I'm just reading. Joe Flynn.
Patrick, how in God's name did you just manage to find that one? Only you.
No. It's there. It's there.
Just imagine.
The name of the guy is called Joe Flynn. Now we know Keleba is favorite anatomy with an exclamation mark.
No, okay, hold on. There are over 300 people on YouTube. Sorry, guys. Over 300 people on YouTube that you are ignoring our comments. Now,
did you manage?
Minalula, just a minute, guys. Sorry. Ephraim Prince Minalula, this is really important. We absolutely appreciate all our YouTube viewers. It's
where
not
did
that,
you send it?
We are.
It does tend so that you start sending.
Can you turn it off, Bakafumbi, for a minute? Thank you. It's really critical that our YouTube viewers do not feel neglected. We really appreciate you. And it's just that I have one screen and I can't see what's happening on YouTube. That's why I delegated that task to Percy for Facebook. And I promise, if I'm ever invited again, I will ensure that there's somebody who's monitoring the YouTube feed. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please share the link. Make sure everyone manages to watch this. Nalaya kuliba likezo. Oh, balikezo mwachilanda mwachi reading a comment. Twala kuliba Wallens. Any comment, last comment, or if you want to read something from your feed. But Wallens?
Hello. Hi, Linda. Well done. You really did a good job. I really appreciate. Nothing really I wanted to say on that one. I appreciate the way you conducted the forum. I appreciate that. That was well done.
Thank you so much. We move to Percy.
Yes, I was just going on YouTube, and myself, the only thing I can comment about, to be honest with you, it's the cadres. I still maintain, in terms of the cadres, there's no point of putting cadres in back in the market again. There's no point for that. The more you do that, it's the same, doing the same thing. We will be just basically going in circles. It's better to just say no cadres. Full stop. If you want to make an office next to the market, make an office, then you can have an office. If they want cadres in there, then it means UPND, PF, UNIP, once we can hide in my office for many market cars.
Okay, thank you. I got a message from from Marina saying, "Thank you so much, moderator. I had two comments, and both comments were read. Thank you so much." Okay, I think once we've had a chance to say something, and thank you so much, viewers, for watching TV Bakwetu, and we will be back tomorrow or the next day. The link will be sent, and if you want to join the panel, a StreamYard link will be sent. Please be prepared, because I keep getting messages to say, how do we join? So Dr. Musha, oh my God, I have to get used to calling him Doctor. Panel, I think we need to give him a...
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Dr. Musha.
Congratulations. Like I said earlier, I'm so inspired. I can't do Bukopo. I don't think I can manage the doctorates.
Valinda, you can get a doctorate on how to cook chikanda. You can get one on how to cook chikanda.
Inenala mukusenda doctorate yabasendere bakambwili.
Prince Randy, on a lighter note, Prince Randy is saying, Valinda, please advise, are you married? And there are a lot of
Now that's putting me on the spot. I cannot.
Please, Alete salamu to me.
All I can say is I think polygamy is legal now. So in salamu I can consider it.
Issue. I'm a polygamist. Bantu.
We
have some questions.
Discuss that
because we've got the father of the nation.
Absolutely. Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you guys tonight. Thank you so much for your time, and viewers, thank you for your time. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.